Welcome back to the channel. I'm Reed. This is Man Cave Guitar Pedal Mania. In a previous video I did a comparison between this, let's say, inexpensive Xavier Jazzmaster from Guitarfetish versus a Squier Jazzmaster. The Squier pretty clearly won. Well, this guitar looks really good. It disappoints me on a number of levels. It was half the price of the Squier. Now, I don't particularly like having a guitar that I don't like. Selling guitars is a pain, but the benefit of doing a lot of guitar projects is that I have guitar parts available. I have a Warmoth Stratocaster neck that I have yet to really use in a project, so I'm going to install it on this guitar and see if I like the way that that works out. So I'm going to leave everything else the same. I actually like the bridge on this, and I like the pickups, although again they're a little weaker than the pickups in my Squier, even though I installed GFS pickups in that Squier, the exact pickups that are in this. So let's try it with the Warmoth neck and see how that works. I'm not going to film that part. It's a really simple mechanical process. I mean, I'm simply undoing 4 bolts and then attaching the new neck and screwing 4 bolts back in. I don't think that makes for compelling cinema. So I'll be back when the shop work is done. Here I am with the Warmoth neck installed in that Xavier Jazzmaster. We're going to call this a qualified success. It turns out the neck pocket on this Jazzmaster is not really to Fender spec. So I'm going to get a close-up of this. So as you can see, there is a pretty good sized gap at the treble side of the neck. Now, in one way that's kind of an illusion. Your guitar neck does not have a lot of stability issues going this way. It's all the strings pulling against the wood this way. So that doesn't really matter as long as it's got a good bolt-on joint. However, it's going to drive me insane looking at it. So I'm going to take the tuners off of this neck instead. These are staggered height locking tuners. I got them from Guitarfetish. I don't remember what brand they are, if they're even labeled as a specific brand. So I'm going to try and put those on that Xavier neck and reinstall it and see if just changing the tuners makes a difference. And if that doesn't make it quite right yet, I have a better nut to install in that other headstock. And that'll be interesting because I've only ever swapped out nuts on Les Paul style where it's actually right out at the end of the fretboard, not in a Fender style where it's installed in a little trench at the end of the neck. So that'll be an adventure, so stay tuned. So after a couple of false starts, here's the final product. I've removed that string retaining bar that I disliked so much and added these staggered height locking tuners. They have a thumb wheel locking mechanism, kind of like a Sperzel style tuner, and that was a pretty good upgrade for this guitar. I decided not to replace the nut because frankly I just thought that was more effort than this guitar was worth. However, it is much nicer now that it stays in tune much better. And this was a pretty cheap project. Now, I already owned the guitar and I already owned the tuners, so the net outlay to me was zero at this time. If you bought the guitar new, it's $239 at full price. And they're always running 10 or 12% off sales. And those tuners are $36, so $275 total. That's very, very reasonable. Now, this is not a fantastic guitar, but it's a good guitar. It looks the part. It plays pretty well. It stays in tune much better now that I've got these tuners on it. And it sounds pretty good. And I just don't know where else you're going to get a Jazzmaster that stays in tune and plays pretty well for $275. Now, that being said, the Squier was $399. Would I buy this and put on new tuners, or would I buy the Squier? I'd still buy the Squier. It's a better guitar. It sounds better. It has the authentic Fender headstock, and it's just so much better done. The fret ends on this are so sharp. Next time I change strings, I'll probably round those fret ends off. I don't particularly like doing fretwork, but I can. The Squier is still a better buy. But at least this is now playable. I don't look at it sitting there on my rack and think, oh man, I regret having picked up that guitar. So, $275. That's not bad. Not bad at all. So even though this project didn't go as planned, I hope that you found it interesting, and maybe we've both learned something. So I'll see you in another video. Until then, I've been Reed. This has been Man Cave Guitar Pedal Mania.